So are you one of those guys that likes your phone with a massive battery? Well, this Bluboo S3 has an 8500 mAh battery, and this is going to be the full unboxing and overview of the Bluboo S3. So let's look at the specs very quickly. Here you can see that this is an MTK 6750T processor. I was hoping for something more powerful, but we'll have to settle for that. Again, that 8500 mAh battery, a 21 megapixel, 5 megapixel dual rear camera, and a 13 megapixel camera. Also, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigabytes of ROM, and FDD, TDD, WCDMA, GSMA connectivity also. Let's unbox this phone and see what we have inside. Golden box, well, black box with golden trim. Not too much of a fan. And this is the actual phone. Ooh, it's heavy. Let's put that aside and see what else we have inside the box. It's not going to be much, much out of the ordinary. So here we have a charger that is not Canadian or US. And we have a USB-C cable, very nice. And here there is a cable with USB-C, with a USB-C, a Lightning, and a micro USB plug. So I'm guessing that Bluboo wants us to use this phone to charge your other phones, like your Apple, your micro USB, as well as your USB-C phones, which is a pretty innovative thing to include in the box also. And here we have a USB-C to USB adapter. And here we have, so here we have a USB to headphone jack, which means you're not going to get a headphone jack inside the phone, which is kind of too bad. And here we have a warranty card and a manual. We also have a screen protector, and this case is, it's, you know what, the outside kind of feels nice. It's kind of like the smooth rubber, whereas the inside is kind of grippy, which is exactly what you need in a case to make sure it doesn't fall out. Let's put all the stuff aside, a significant amount of accessories, and check the phone out itself. Okay, this phone is very, very big. It's not as big as my Octa K10000 or K10, but it's big enough. But I will say one thing that I'm fairly impressed with. Let me take the screen protector off first. So the thing I'm most impressed with is how they've managed to keep the bezels very, very slim. Look at the top, bottom, and side bezels. They're actually the same size, if not a little bit smaller than the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus. And what they've done is they've actually put all the bulk into the thickness, which is very nice, because if you're holding it kind of like this, then you have a very nice bezel-less experience. Let's look at the rest of the phone. Well, here you have your camera and your sensors and your speaker. And looking at it from the back, this is a textured golden back. It feels like it's plastic. It has that chain link fence feel, and there's the Bluboo logo. You have your micro USB, your fingerprint sensor, which is fairly tiny, and it feels like it'll be hard to reach. Like, look at where my finger rests. Naturally, I have to reach up more to get to it. And then here you also have your dual cameras, your LED flash, and I can't tell what that is. And here we have your USB-C, your 2 speaker grills. And on the other side, there's nothing here. There is no headphone jack, which is very sad. All right, finally, there is your SIM slot and your buttons here. So again, I gotta say that this phone is very big, very heavy, but Bluboo did an excellent job making sure that the bezels on the front look very nice. Look at how slim the top and bottom bezels are and the side bezels are, especially for an 8500 mAh phone. The only thing you'll feel from this phone is that it's, you know what? Okay, so it is a heavy phone, I will admit that, but it's not that heavy considering there's an 8500 mAh battery. This feels like it has very good weight distribution. I would say the only, quote-unquote downside to the build quality on this phone would be the thickness. It feels very thick. Yes, you do have nice rounded edges to make it feel less thick, but I gotta say that it does still feel very, very unwieldy in the hands. So let's turn this phone on and see what we got. All right, again, the bezels here look a little bit less good when you have the screen on because there is a black bar running around the entire phone. You can find that in pretty much any phone you get. But the black bar here is a tiny bit bigger than what you would find, but still, it's still very slim bezels, especially for an 8500 mAh phone. Really kudos to Bluboo for doing such a great job with the bezels. So this phone has Android 7.0 Nougat, and let's see how fast it is very quickly. Oh, very nice. It has the Google Now launcher pre-installed, which is actually pretty decent. That's actually pretty good. I like it. As you can see, it is a little bit laggy, but then again, I haven't set up everything yet, so that's not really a fair comparison. It's just a quick first impressions. Let's look at the display and see what we got. All right, let's take a look at the display here. The display here is pretty good. As you can see, the reds on the roof are very nice and saturated, nice reds in the sky. Moving on to the next picture, you can see that there is very nice color saturation in pretty much anything that's a primary color. And the dynamic contrast here, and the contrast here is actually decent also. Moving on, you can see this is a very nice picture as well. And finally, here we have you know what, this picture actually looks nicer on this phone than it does in others, because other phones, this white area over here is a little bit too washed out, but here it's actually a very nice balance, which is something that I don't see very often in other phones. And here, this is a very nice picture also. It does look a little bit less good than other phones. I'm not sure why, it could just be my eyes, but moving on to the next picture, this is a very beautiful picture. Just look how clearly those water droplets can be seen and the detail in each of these pine needles. And this display really brings it out very well. Very nice saturation in the display, especially at first glance, so I'm quite satisfied with it. Touch response here is actually pretty good also. I can't really sense any sort of touch lag, or sorry, not really lag, but more like insensitivity, so it's actually pretty good. So no complaints about the display here. I will test it more and we'll see what we got. Let's talk a little bit about the audio here. There is one single speaker on the bottom, and my first impressions of the speakers are that it is decent. I really think the speakers here are good at first glance, so we'll listen to this and see what we got. Alright, so before I wrap up, I want to say that while I was using it, I can feel that these buttons here, you can definitely feel quite a bit of heat being transferred through these buttons. So I'm not sure how good the heat dissipation capabilities of this phone is, and whether or not this button over here feeling fairly warm is going to be a good or bad indication, but I will let you know in the full review that will be coming up. One last thing I want to say is that this here really resembles the Star Wars text. So really random anecdote, but let's continue going. So yeah, that was a quick unboxing and overview of the Bluboo S3, this phone with an 8500 milliamp hour battery, and to be honest, looks very nice from the front, because it looks like Bluboo really put time and effort into making sure the bezels on the front look nice. You know, side bezels are fairly slim, top and bottom bezels are nice also. Of course, this phone is going to be very thick because it does have an 8500 milliamp hour battery, but I gotta say that Bluboo did a pretty good job with the bezels to make it look like a very nice looking phone. So be sure to stay tuned for my full review of the Bluboo S3 that's going to be coming up very soon. Be sure to hit like and subscribe and hit that little bell icon beside the subscribe button to make sure you are notified of any new videos that are going to be coming up. Be sure to check out my giveaway in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.